This is recording already?
What an exciting start.
I don't know. Is it recording?
Oh, is everything recording?
Yeah, everyone tuned out already. Yep, that's recording.
What are we doing first?
I don't know. Are we going to do the ideation, little pitch session?
All right.
Yeah, let's do
pitch session. Kyle brought a tiny book.
The world's tiniest book.
Yeah, I only have like one thing in it, so.
I saw him in his room. He was really like the fucking 13th hour, really trying to get these
I
ideas.
definitely did mine this morning. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I can go first because I don't think mine are going to be like
Pitch session.
I'll save, I guess. I'll save
Such a good like pitch session. Listen,
I guess, but
best for last.
Best for last.
yeah, a lot of these are really just very soft ideas.
Should we set up like the rules
most
for
of
like
them
how
are.
a pitch session works?
Nah.
All right. I like it.
I just
No.
have
Okay.
like a few
Let's go.
kind of titles, a few very soft ideas. One
Okay.
I kind of like so far, but we'll see.
All
right. The first two are kind of like period pieces, I guess, sort of set in like 70s, 80s. This one is more like just the name. I like Freakers. It's
Okay.
like PH,
Freakers. I love that. With a PH.
and it's more about phone freakers, like people that were hacking phones in the 70s.
Didn't like Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs do that?
Yeah, so
That's like how they started making money or something like that?
yeah, that they started like a company that was like hacking phone boxes basically.
Okay.
That's all I have for that one.
Sounds like a
Actually,
good documentary.
I really
honestly.
like that. Yeah. There's not nothing there, I would say. Like
I think it's like
I like
for
the
me. 'cause
plot,
I
the
don't.
setting, like, but that's all I really have for that. Like, no, like, characters or anything.
all right.
It reminds me of Sneakers, the hacking movie with Redford. I think it was in the
Okay.
80s.
Wasn't there one like also just called like Hackers or something like
Yes,
that?
I think there's a
Yeah.
bunch called Hackers.
Freakers.
So that
Freakers,
one's called
Sneakers.
Freakers. The other one's called Broadcast Pirates. This one's kind of based loosely on this incident that's called like the Max Headroom hack.
Okay.
And in 1987 in Chicago, the local like broadcast station got hacked.
Okay.
And it was like a broadcast of this kid or a guy wearing a mask of Max Headroom.
Well, who's Max Headroom? I'm gonna Google it.
Max Headroom was like a TV show character at the time,
Okay.
and he was like this weird like
Oh,
he was
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
internet or something. He was like in the computer.
He was a fictional artificial intelligence character.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Chicago, the radio station or the not radio station, the broadcast TV station got hacked, and they broadcast a session with this like person wearing the mask, and you can like barely hear like what they're saying because it's like wheezily like sped up or like weirdly broken up because they like hijacked the broadcast. But basically the movie is more about like it's actually a group of kids.
Okay.
And it's more about like the kids like hacking and like a friendship base, and it's actually like a mentally challenged kid and like another kid are like the two main characters.
Okay. Is it like Goonies-esque or like like adventure or like coming of age like
It's like coming of age, more
Stand
like
By Me.
a friendship movie.
And Max,
Okay.
and this all has to do with
one of them wears the mask.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
I think the mentally challenged kid is the one that actually is wearing the mask.
Okay.
But like he also like does help with the hacking in some way, but like it's more like he's getting bullied or like vice versa. I don't really
Okay.
know.
I dig it.
But
So
that's
I
just,
like
and
what
culminates in them doing this big hack together, which would be kind of loosely like the Max Headroom kind of
Okay,
thing.
so that's not how it starts. That's how it ends.
No, that's the ending. Yeah.
What I like about both of those is like
Oh, because the other thing is in the hack, like no one ever found out who like hijacked the broadcast.
still?
Yeah.
They still don't
to
know who
this
did
day,
it.
yeah.
That's
Okay, so
cool.
you can kind of fix. That's the thing I was gonna say. I love about both those ideas. Like taking something that happened in time and then fictionalizing a story around it.
Which is like Tarantino style-ish
yeah.
stuff. It's very much like Bank Job, where like they still don't know how this went down, but imagine it went down like this. There's a lot of movies like that.
Yeah.
The title definitely reminds me of Pirate Radio. We'll definitely work on the title.
Yeah, but that was just I like how to like title in that they're like hackers of broadcast.
Probably call it
basically.
Freakers.
Yeah,
just
like
use the
actually good,
Freakers
like
one.
working in the
I mean, that's
kind
not
How many
bad.
news hack movie ideas do we have coming up?
This next one is a hack.
This next one's also a news hack or a
So those
radio
are the
hack
two
or
kinda
phone hack.
like more period piece, kind of loosely based on like real events, or could be more documentary. Or
It almost
something
seems
that,
like we should just have these two as episodes in a documentary called like Tech Hackers or something.
Yeah,
that's a terrible name, but
right.
it seems like they're very much that. But I think this one more so than the Freakers, because Freakers is just like very, very just like it's a news piece. You just looked at a news piece and said,
But
and it's a good title.
Great title. That's what it has. Yeah.
So Broadcast Pirates though has a little bit more behind it. I feel like having that more fictionalized. Imagine this was who did it. I like that. I think that has a little bit more legs to it. Freakers was just a news article with a good title. Like
I like
like
the
a journal.
more. I like the time period, like 70s. I
Right.
like the idea that it was like Apple kind of birthed from that movement.
Yep.
And they kind of, I guess it's weird. Contextually, I also like the idea that it's funny that like Apple was part of that and they were stealing from the phone companies to make their money, and now they're like always litigating and fighting people.
Right.
Like,
So are you thinking
hey,
more
don't, like mess with our tech? This is just a personal view. I find interesting. It's just like looking back now though, like they're this giant that's just like, hey, don't open your phone or else like we'll sue you and shit like that.
What's the great movie about the recession? I always forget. The Big Short.
Oh yeah.
Is it more like that then you're going with it? Like this is how Apple like became like started. Here's Margot
that's
Robbie in a bathtub
definitely, like,
explaining that.
a possibility.
Okay.
But I didn't really have much legs on that. I just
like fictionally, I'm like, where I understand, like, you could send me a news article, I can get the same thing, and you just said, like, imagine the title of this called Freakers, and I'm like, oh, that's great, but what is it?
You got to pick. I feel like if we're not,
you can do certain things like in phone freaking, like they were hacking the phone system. Typically, to make money was like they were selling these boxes so you can make free long distance phone calls, but. Because the way the systems were set up, like people could do like really crazy shit. Like
no, I understand that. I'm saying you can send me an article that regurgitates all of that, but with the fictional part of it, do you want to go more of like on the nail with that stuff and kind of make it like The Big Short,
I think
which
pick
is
a
interesting?
Genre, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if we pick a genre, like I think you could
It's
just
like
use
political
Freakers
comedy
as
almost?
that. But yeah, I think based on the genre, we would find because you could do like what's that 911 call, like Halle Berry like hears this call and then she wants to find the like save this girl or something. Like you could, what are they hearing stuff on the freaked lines? Like, you know, you could go like, it could be a thriller.
That's what I'm saying. Like all the stuff behind it. Like, do you want to use all of those pieces that make it fascinating to make like a political comedy, or do you want to make one of those pieces to drive a action thriller, or one of those pieces to drive just a comedy, one of those pieces to drive a comedy just backed on a drama of a company that is doing it or that thrived on it?
All of us.
I would say then like researching that and breaking a fictional.
I mean, it could even be like a series
storyline. It could be
like
just a
with
very
group of kids that are like growing a bit like bigger business, and by like the end of the final like series finale, kind of like Apple or something.
Okay, if it's a series,
that's cool.
Freakers as a series could be cool. Or
like
is this
a ragtag band in a garage, like just trying to be based in, like, set in the 70s or something? That's pretty cool. All right.
So those are kind of like those two ideas, and then I have these ones are kind of literally more like very loose ideas, or literally just like the fucking title, which is the first one was Daddy's Day Out or Dad's Day Out, which I don't know if it would play out.
Is it the whole title though, like Daddy's Day Out or Dad's with quotes?
I mean,
day
maybe.
out, like,
Daddy's Day Out isn't more like that movie Carpool or whatever.
Yes.
That's like dad has to take over.
That should just be a reboot that we make with like Seth
Yeah.
Rogen and Josh Baruchel, or Jay Baruchel.
Or if it's like Dad's Day Out, which is more like
A bunch of
dads
like
going out and
dudes.
partying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, those are options, I guess, for that. But that's all I really on that one. Nothing else.
Dad's Day Out.
Or
Okay.
Daddy's
like, that's
Day
two
Out.
different.
Or
things.
Daddy's Day Out.
Yeah.
Okay. You
No quote.
and write Dads Go Out.
Dads go out with kids, or dads go out with dads.
Or dads go out with kids, or maybe not.
Or dads go out with dads.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like I can see the
Were
whole version.
we
of
about
each
to
of
start
those,
this episode, and you were just like, I gotta just scrap up a few more.
Like, I kind of like it though.
No, I just was like, I don't know. I
What
feel
if
like
what if you mashed?
rebooting.
Where did that
rebooting
Carpool would be great? But were you thinking in your head just like, what would be a funny thing? My
Baby's
dad went
Day
out
Out.
with
Baby's
me
Day
or without me. Okay, you just said Baby's
No,
Day Out.
Baby's
Okay,
Day Out
gotcha.
with dads.
What
and then I
about
was, like,
Daddy's-
more just riffing on that?
Daddy's
But I didn't-
Dad's Day, where they're supposed to have a Dad's Day, and then they all get stuck with the kids. I'm pretty sure this is a movie with
I
like
think it
Eddie
is.
Murphy and stuff, and then they have to do.
Daddy's Daycare is that?
Yeah. Okay. Daddy. Yeah. Let's
Daddy
remake.
Daycare.
Let's remake Daddy's Daycare. Okay. Daddy's
Day
or
Camp,
Dad's
but-
Day Out. Dads go out with kids, or dads go out with dads.
All right. This one is more like.
You might have to have your own show called Kyle's Pitch Sessions.
Here's this
'cause
one.
This is great.
It's called Bel Air Buds, and it's the Air Bud family, and they're living in
Oh,
Bel Air
yeah.
now because they have all that money from like winning
They
all
all
the
that dog
sports
money.
and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
And
actually.
This is
great.
actually a great-
The dogs have to take up newer sports to maybe like maintain the family wealth, but they do like. Is it golf? Is it
It's a
like
great idea.
bocce? I don't know. There's like a bunch of weird.
That's
like,
a great
Ritzy
kids. This is
Titsy,
a kids show
Ritzy
or movie.
Twitsy.
This is a kids
Yeah.
show or movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's an Air Bud extension. Bel Air Buds.
Well, I wasn't sure if you were going dark comedy
was the
with it,
last-
where it's like we fucking hate throwing these
Well,
footballs,
there's also, yeah, maybe it is more like they're just hanging out at the house. Like,
and like
When
the
was the
teens,
last
the
Air
teens doing
Buds?
cocaine.
Air Buddies, I think, came out like.
I think like every year
Yeah.
there's new
There's
ones.
still new ones. Okay.
Pretty sure.
But I think it's
Bel Air
like a
Buds is
huge
good, yeah.
problem 'cause
Bel Air
they
Wait,
like-
I wrote Bud. Hold up. That's like our
Buds.
friend's name.
We won't show the screenshot of it if you do the misspelling.
Got him!
6D.
Got him!
Is that's all I need to write there?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all I have.
The,
for
the
that.
dogs might go out with the dogs, or the dog.
It's all
the
like,
dogs might not.
But it's all sports.
But it's all sports.
Like no, like rich white class sports. So like bocce, golf.
Okay, gotcha.
Like
so
a
it's
dog playing
croquet.
polo. Like, how does a dog ride a horse?
Yeah, exactly.
a dog riding a horse would
How does
actually
it
sell
ride a
me.
horse?
Okay,
Um,
how does a dog ride a horse?
exactly.
That's the
That's an actual
tagline.
It's like
That's
yeah,
all-
that's the tagline.
The tagline really is like all the sports we haven't like tackled yet.
that kids won't know and won't care
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
which is great.
rugby is like also like in that poster because I don't think they did rugby, so that's the first one that they like,
Okay.
lead into. It makes sense.
Did
but
they do
then
tennis? Probably. Golf
they
is
will in
great.
This one.
They will in this one, yeah. Okay,
Um,
nice. Bel Air Buds.
This one, I don't really like have a title or anything. Maybe
This is the best one?
title. No, this.
You have
I'll
that
save
many?
that
Wow,
one for
alright.
last. That game like light as a feather, stiff as a board,
Yeah.
where you try to like lift people or whatever.
Okay.
Made me think like this is probably a comedy. I don't really know, but like that movie, The Craft. You've seen it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, the witches.
Yep.
It. Again, this is as far as I've gotten. Was like that line, and then I was like, what if it was sort of like The Craft, but with dudes? And then I'm like, what do you call dude witches? Are they wizards? Are they warlocks?
Warlocks, I
What's
think.
the like difference between them? But
But no, they like to be called witches. They're like, warlocks are different.
Yeah.
We're witches. Man witches.
um,
Man witches,
but yeah.
actually.
Which is, hold up. The story just broke wide open. Man, witches. Dude, that's very good. So is it just like, okay, is it like Seth Rogen and
That's
all
a
his
different movie
buddies?
I'm writing, yeah.
Okay.
Man witches.
And
Let's
they
say you're
just-
Kyle's.
and they just
You
get-
inspired me.
They just get their powers. They're like, what's happening to us?
That's a great
Bro, you're...
a bro Halloween witch movie.
Actually very good. he's like trying to sweep up, and then all of a sudden he's like in the air. So dumb.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the broom.
Yeah.
The broom's haunted.
Hocus Pocus with dudes.
Yep.
But what is light as a feather, stiff as a board? Sorry.
It's The Craft, but with dudes.
Oh, that's all. Okay, I thought there was more. Okay. I kind of.
That's kind of.
I kind of like the man witches and making it.
Yeah, no, I think a comedy version is. I was like, I don't
Actually,
really know where you go
really
with it,
think
but
that's a strong one. Like just leaning into the Halloween thing. Like what a, it's definitely an undervalued movie time of the year.
It is.
Whatever, however you say that.
I mean, it is. Yeah. I mean, Hulu with like the Halloween and stuff.
Right.
They crush it, but
it's like so much horror. You can't
it's
watch
something
that with
that
your family.
Yeah.
Sure, you can. What are you talking
Hocus
about?
Pocus with dudes.
Okay.
So yeah.
I only have one idea today, just so you guys know. Like,
oh, that's fine.
all right.
And then this isn't like this is the last one. I don't know if it's the best one, but this is kind of like the first one I was more riffing on. I wrote like Zoom meeting in quotes at first, and then I guess the title is Escape Zoom.
You wrote Zoom meeting in quotes because you're like, what's real popular now?
That's actually
Zoom
exactly.
meetings. Let me write that in quotes.
Fair enough.
I don't
I like
know
that.
why I write things in quotes. My grammar is fucking terrible.
I like
Dude.
it.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Escape Zoom.
Basically, a coworker gets kidnapped, and team needs to figure out and come together to solve and follow the clues to like save them.
Is
But
it like
I'm
that
just,
movie
like-
that happens like on the screens
Yeah. So like, I'm not sure if it's like
via Zoom?
this is taking place during just like their normal weekly Zoom meeting. If it's like the teams come together and they're already doing like oh hey, we're out of the office for a while. We decided to do this like escape room thing, and then like they get into it, and then like someone actually gets kidnapped.
Okay.
And then they have to like follow the clues, and their computers get like messages and shit for them to like figure it out. And I don't know if it's like there's part of it that seems like, oh, someone got kidnapped, and maybe that's like part of the like whole ploy to get the team to like work together better. So it's like a fake kidnapping, but then obviously there's real like shit could happen. But that's also, again, kind of all I have with that is like
Okay.
a kidnapping takes place at like a work meeting over.
Do you think it like
Or if
happens?
it's
So far, it
someone,
sounds more like a short
crashes,
film, but
like,
yeah.
the Zoom meeting, and it's like, hey, I need your help. This, and they're like, hey, what's going on? And then they like that person gets kidnapped or like gets them involved in something else.
I think it's a great, and it's an interesting start, but I think Escape Zoom is basically, you're thinking that's why I'm thinking it's a short film, because it all happens while they're Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Unless-
there a horror movie that was like
Mhm.
that, where they're all like on the FaceTimes or something like that?
Yes.
It was like, what was that
Yeah.
called?
I forget what it's called.
So would it be like that, like where you actually record the screens of the actors and you're
The
like
whole
kind of
time?
in the?
The whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cheap.
It's cheap.
But it's
could write it
probably
well.
be just like that other movie that's with kids, but with adults, and they're like coworkers.
Okay.
That's really just like kind of the difference in settings. And then
It's a
I
good,
don't know if it's like
cheap,
I
like
the
budget
idea
friendly.
That
Shouldn't say
maybe
cheap.
it was like they're trying to do this escape room thing, like their boss set them up on this to like, because they are trying to work together, come together on this big project, or if it's like,
Oh, it might be set up. It's like the game, like Michael Douglas. Like,
Yeah.
is this real or not?
or
Like,
if it's more like they're having their weekly Zoom meeting and someone Zoom bombs them and they're like in distress and they're like, hey, I need your help, this and that, and they're like, what is going on? And they like eject them or something right away, and then like they jump back in. They're like, hey, we just changed the password, and so how does this person like actually jump back in? Like,
okay.
and then he's like, I really need your help, this and that, and then maybe they get kidnapped, or maybe they like do something that has them like get more involved. And I guess I don't know, I don't have like an ending.
Yeah,
for
I
this
feel
per
like
se, but like
The
just-
way in would be like if there's a way, like do Apple Watches do like Zoom now or something, like where like the one character you
Right.
could actually be with them while they're.
That's the hardest part. That's why I was like, it's a short film. It's actually a great short film.
I mean, you can do it on your phone.
But how do you make it
and
a
you can start
feature? Is
moving around.
adding those different. I mean, you can make it a feature no matter what. Look how many single like buried
Well, that's what I
lock.
was thinking more like, what the idea was kind of birthed more from like what's a single like area room like I
The
guess
hardest part of,
obviously
I
it's
mean,
like
that's a
Zoom
great
meetings,
backdrop.
why
That's a
everything's
great
close up.
setting.
Yeah.
But the hardest part is the story for those, obviously.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
feel
you're-
like
you're-
you got to play it out like an actual escape room, and then if the person that gets kidnapped is just if it's like Labyrinth or something, like if they had to solve something together to get out. I don't know. That's like it's a little hokey, but
No,
like
well, that's
people
what
might
I'm
like
saying.
it. Like
might be more like
kind of like
that.
Saw or something. You know
Yeah.
that in the team has to work together, but you'd have
Oh,
to
I have a
the
Saw-esque movie coming up.
the one character like on their screen all the time, like moving around an actual physical set, and the other one's like just static on their Zoom. It's like, again, it's kind of cheap if you could write a cool,
Yeah.
you know. I don't know. I think there's a way into that. That might be like,
Or there's like all those weird like a murder room, like we gotta solve this murder. He's gonna get murdered on the internet. That's like a Colin Hanks movie, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Colin Hanks, but yes.
all right,
Maybe it could be something like that, but more just Zoom meetings. That's all I have.
word. I'll go. Like, well, first, I guess, like of all these, is there one that you feel like we should try to break?
I know one that we need to break.
Man, which is, dude, we gotta look like
I
that.
feel like that one.
Which is, I'm not
I like
gonna
more. I mean,
rob
personally,
Kyle
I
of it
just
because it
like-
is light as a feather. It was kind of the same idea. This is just
I
the
mean,
title.
I like that's probably the.
I made it better.
strongest out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
You inspired me
Yeah.
to make
I
your.
know.
That's what we need, though, right? That's
Yeah,
the whole
that's
point.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, literally.
I think man.
But
Witches
no,
is
I
it.
think Man Witches is it. But I like
I like
these
the
two.
broadcast. Yeah, those.
I like
could
these
be
news
com-
articles, basically.
combined. I don't have any like real character other than
No.
like in the one.
You have two news.
More,
This one
the
definitely
kids
more.
growing.
Yeah, and I like that. I'm like, oh, you took like a bank job-esque movie. This is what could have happened. Tarantino. Imagine this happened, or Tarantino kind of flips it completely, where it's like history was changed. This is more like history keeps its path, but who was behind the thing that we never
Right.
knew, which
Right.
exists in a decent amount of movies. I always just bring up Bank
It's
Job
just
because I really liked
yeah.
it.
Doing phone pranks basically.
Right, so that's cool. Still not much of a
Right.
of a
It's not-
story there. Freakers is just interesting. When you started saying that, I'm like, I would watch that in a documentary show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. You're just spitting out like some cool information that I had no idea
Right,
about
yeah.
of tech stuff. Cool.
No, for sure.
Same with broadcast
I mean,
buyers until you started saying like they're kids and this. I'm like, all right, there is a story behind this one.
Yeah, on that one I have a little more. Like I said, I didn't have like I just had more like setting. Honestly.
That was Luke walking in.
The
screwing everything
producer
up.
is here.
The producer.
Our producer just showed up.